Women have been struggling to gain the same rights as men for a very long time. But before we get into the history, I'm going to teach y'all some vocab. Gender equality is the belief that both women and men should be treated equally. Gender inequality is the limits women have on their rights because of their gender. Now, obviously, gender equality is not a good thing for the women, but it can also hurt a country's prosperity. A good example of gender inequality would be how women are sometimes considered property of their husbands or fathers. Because of gender inequality, women have limits on education, opportunity, political power, and job wages. Now, that's just not fair, but lots of people have taken a stand in women's rights. I'm about to introduce you to one special woman who made a big change in women's rights. Her name was Susan B. Anthony. Now, she looks old and boring, doesn't she? She is old, but she's definitely not boring. Without Susan B. Anthony, married women would not be able to own their own property, keep their own wages, and have custody over their own children. Now, we owe a lot of thanks to Susan B. Anthony. Thank you, Susan. Even though women's rights isn't as good as some people wish it would be, we are still making progress. Some big progress was made in 1945 in San Francisco. An agreement was signed there identifying that a new human right had been made. This human right was that women and men were the same. Women also got the right to vote in 1920. That's actually a pretty big deal because women actually got to have a say in their country's leaders. So shout out to all the women out there because we started from the bottom, now we're here. Because people like Susan B. Anthony were willing to fight for women's rights, women have gained the same equality as men. That's a big improvement considering where we started. So put on a smile and be proud you're a woman. Sally Ride, first American woman in space. Amelia Earhart, first woman to take flight.